Another day of the Astro Gravitational Report. Thank you so much for the clicks, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and appreciate when you support the channel. You can either buy a coffee or donate it through the PayPal. Thank you so much for your donations. What are we going to be facing it right now is going to be a very interesting because this is the approachment of the full moon. This full moon, we're talking about the full moon at Libra, is going to be what? Opposing the sun at Aries. This is going to be triggering a lot of stuff, but the preparation is going to be coming in today. And the reason is we're talking about today's energy is because the moon, it's moving overnight with the internal conflict with Mercury. Intuition tells something into the Mercury through communications, into the psyche from within you. That can trigger, as I said yesterday, can trigger lots of stuff because who was involved in that? Hi, Nimira. In that was involved Lilith, the mean Lilith and the true Lilith. So you don't know where you're standing out between the shadow, the truth, and what you're telling yourself. Because with all the intuition that it's focused right now, particularly at Virgo, because the moon is at Virgo, right? That's where your attention goes. Facing another challenges, and that's going to be the challenges as the moon, it is opposing Mars. Mars had no aspects. Mars felt like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do, right? That is it. This moments when you kind of like moved on, you do things in there, particularly when he was in very beautiful trines with Jupiter in the recent past. All of a sudden is like, oops, wait a minute, right? So what is it going on though? It's going to be this preparations of movement. We are going to be seeing it, this energy overnight, actually. And in the morning, we're going to have lots of to deal with it. But today the moon is going to be looking at this like, are you going to be facing that growth? 7 o'clock in the morning, the moon, it's going to be sextiling Jupiter. Jupiter is trining Mercury. So through the growth of figuring it out, what you need to tell yourself, you're going to be maturing, right? But where is Jupiter? Jupiter currently, it is at Cancer. What do you do about family, about the people around you? This is what is actually going to have to look from within, because that's how you are created. Now, with all these energies that's going to be facing it, particularly in an afternoon, we're going to see this duality of, did I change it right? Did I put my things right? Did I pass the test? Did I do all this correctly? It is, I'm in the right thing. And this full moon, which is we are going to be experiencing tomorrow, it is about that it's magic in a way, the ascendant. Okay? The ascendant, that is the event horizon, or also the rising point where the sun it's pointing into the sky. Okay, this is the sunrise moment. If you look at it, the sunrise moment, and you look at it, the astrology chart for that exact time, you're gonna see the sun is gonna be in the ascendant. Okay, so into the astrology, that energy of the ascendant, you have to be what? Descending somewhere. You're coming from somewhere and you want to land somewhere. And what is this? This is a what we have, this Pisces Aries situations. You're coming from the spirit to be reborn, right? To a new self, right? And then we are looking at on the opposite side, how I put myself and I'm going into relationship. And this is that correlations between ascendant and descendant. This is a Aries, Libra, me, and a relationship, because the ascendant, it is the limit between the first and the 12th house, while the descendant, it is between the sixth and the seventh house. So sixth house is when I put myself, I heal myself, I'm ready to myself with beginning of what? Of relationship. And with this, as we are going to be looking at, and why I'm explaining this situations right now, currently the sun sees like I have not grown. And we're going to see that energy internally within the self as the sun is at 10 degrees and Jupiter is at 15 degrees. We're going to see some this energy in the next 5 days. It's going to be really going and pushing. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't have enough. And so on and so on. Okay? So you have to be very careful what you're doing within your authority, within yourself. But at the same time, okay, we are going to be going to lots of challenges with this that is going to be coming to us. People asking where the things are good. Things are good as long as you're learning to process things that has not been processed at all. Once you process the things that needs to be processed, they are going to be a good things. And this is why right now the moon sextiling Jupiter and Jupiter trining Mercury is that growth that you pay attention to the triggers, you pay attention to the internal conflict, and you go above and beyond. Okay? All right. So 7 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Capricorn. That is about the energies that it's more connecting into the North Node and Mercury and Mars. We're going to see some that energy as we know it, it's trining Jupiter. In there, the ascendant is going to be very close to Chiron, as the moon is at 1 second, because I'm at 1 day ahead, because I was looking overnight these energies. Okay, the moon is going to be at 18 degrees. That is going to be a divine aspect. So you have to look at the divine intuitions, what it's telling you for oneself, right? Because the ascendant, it is at 20 degrees of Aries, as the moon is at 18 degrees of Virgo. Now, the moon is going to be moving forward. So she's going to be breaking out from this squaring with both Liliths. Both Liliths right now, they're at 11 degrees. The one, which is the true Lilith, is at 11 degrees, 52 minutes, which is, she's going to be looking forward, what you need to do. Okay, this is the true Lilith. It's like, okay, I saw the problem, now I have to start looking for solutions. Okay, this is the purpose of the true Lilith. Okay, while the shadow, by moving slowly, it says what he needs to be, look from within. So that shadow right now, it's trining with the sun. In a way, it's good aspect in there, because you're going to have synchronizations with the shadow. What are you going to see with the shadow? But don't use that friendliness energy of the shadow to overcome the authority. This is why it's very important. What are you going to be telling the mind within your own self? All right, 8 o'clock energy is going to be some little bit more good. We are talking about the intuition, ascendant, and the inner work is going to be about material things. Yeah, you got to have the material things in perspective. You have to check your balances in a bank. You have to monitoring what you're spending and how you're spending. You have to be focused of how the things in the material world it is. Very beautiful, because Taurus energy, which is the ascendant, is there at 19 degrees, okay, is very well good with the 19 degrees 20 minutes moon, right? And then that energy is going to be what I'm going to be doing, that particular parts within myself, which is that's going to be the inner work. There it's a 21 degrees 59 minutes, pretty much 22 degrees. But that energy, okay, it is sextiling 22 degrees Mars in Pisces. So the warrior is going to be telling you there is nothing you to worry about it. But don't go without intuitions to have this inner fight, because Mars is warning you. I'm not here to fight. I am here to do something. I'm going to be get out and out of this hole. I'm putting things inside within myself. Okay. And now as the moon is going to be a challenging Mars is going to be hitting back. It's like, you know what? I like what your approach is, but you have to look at it, the power of the spirit. And this is going to be the Virgo side. When you figure out things out, where are you going to be look? You're looking at across. You're looking at into Pisces. Is the same thing, the trigger that it's going to be. Okay, we are talking about between where I am, what I coming with this ascendant within me, without visions in life within me, and where I'm going to be descending, where I'm going to be came here for, right? If you pay attention, you are looking how you're going to be dealing with other people. Descendant is telling you why did you came and want to be doing it here with others, what kind of relationship, contracts, and so on. It's very important, this portion between 6th and the 7th house, you to see it. That is a one critical thing. Speaking of this, at 9 o'clock, this is going to be some very challenging energy because the ascendant is going to be opposing both Lilith and squaring Mercury. This is where the shadow is going to comes in and start like talking all this negative sides and so on. And Mercury is going to be feeling like, what the hell did just happened? All of a sudden, one news, another energy, another thing in your mind. And all this, it starts coming towards you. And you feel like, what the heck? All right. Be mindful about that energy. It's not going to be pleasant in there, but it has its own purpose. Okay. And the purpose is to find the spiritual warrior within you. That is Mars. 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Aquarius. Ascendant is going to be at the Gemini. A little bit breather. We are going to feel this. Okay, what did I did in the past? Oh, well, I went through this problem, so I heal it, so I'm going to be using the same thing that I learn and I practice. This is going to be some a very good energy because in a way it works with Venus and it works with Chiron. And another thing is that as Venus is already moved to Taurus, she's beginning to square what? Pluto. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to be survive. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, and so on and so on. Pay attention to what you have around the 5th degrees. The first degrees of Aquarius, okay, until like the 10th degree of Aquarius. Take a look what you have in there, okay? Because now Venus is going to be challenging that, okay? Venus is going to be challenging this, whatever that is. And if you, whatever you have in there is going to be some, what? Trigger for growth, because that is the thing is to see the opportunities where other people don't. But you first have to become what? Extraordinary from within to become extraordinary out there, right? And this is the challenge of who? This is the challenge of Pluto. Kind of like the energy that you don't really see, but you understand something is pushing it that way. All right, growth is going to be coming at 12 o'clock. We're going to see some, the inner work is going to be with Mars. Ascendant is going to be very close to Jupiter. That energy, as we are talking about this conflict right here. So here is the moon opposing Mars. Okay, cannot be more to this. But the inner work right now with Mars is telling you, listen, you can grow. You can see, you can change, you can do something for the society. You can fulfill the path. Because this is going to help to have a great emotions. Right? So the moon is looking back where? At home. How much was growth in there? How many things there was there? Right? But she's like, why do I have this conflict still? Right? You have that conflict not because of something else. You have the conflict to use this power here. Okay? Mars is power. And right now he's where? Into the soul, into the psyche. It's like to find power when there is nothing works, but you reach where? Deep within your spirit. Because the spirit empower the soul. The soul enters the mind processes the information and gives you the eternal power to go forward. All right. Also, that is going to be helping you what? With internal belief of oneself. All right, 1 o'clock. This is going to be the time where the inner work is with the sun. We're going to see some very interesting energies. As I said, be mindful about the shadow in there because the sun moves more and more towards Jupiter, and that is going to be causing some situations. Also, the dark sun is in Cancer. So this can trigger what? Things that you don't want to grow, things that you don't want to get, things that don't want to wake you up, right? You don't want to wake up to the reality. But without energies, Pluto and the ascendant, they are working together to help you out by creating the issues. Is where's the lack of love into what? Into the material world. Okay? This is at a moment when it's, let's say, for example, in there, oh, I wasn't loved. I don't feel that love. I don't have love for material things. I don't have anything. What is that telling you? You're telling this into your body. I don't like the physical world. I don't like what is. But this is it. How you have to understand within yourself that you're telling that you don't love certain parts from within. Okay? So Pluto wants to challenge this, and it tells you through the authority. Where did you get this? How did you get comes in? How did you build that? Did you remind yourself that when the moon was at Leo, you did one of the greatest work? Right? Let me put you back 4 days ago. Right? How did you felt 4 days ago? How was the energy 4 days ago? But now you have to test that energy, right? You have to be tested. All right, 2 o'clock. The inner work is going to be with Chiron, 150 degrees with the moon. Unhealed things. You need to understand things that you are escaping or things that you don't heal, they're going to come back and they're going to be right after you. They're like a following, like your own shadow. Okay? So now as the ascendant, it's still at Leo, that it's going to be a trining the Lilith, it's going to be trining the sun. This is where you put the authority. Is like, okay, is I'm dumb enough and I'm stupid enough and whatever you want to call yourself, okay, in kind of like this, in this pep talk is about why just not I put everything within my own hands? Why just not I get this strength and the power from within me? I am not gonna be talking negative to my own self. Now you put the authorities in there because you see how much the shadow tries to take control of your thoughts. Particularly, we are talking about with what? We are talking about within the intuition fighting Mars. Okay? So now the moon, it is divine energies with Chiron. It's at 150 degrees. This is like, okay, I done the things from within myself. I have to heal myself to understand that I'm healed. Okay? And as that energy is going to be some pretty good, the moon, it's still sextiling Jupiter. It is the moon, it is right now beginning to what? Beginning to trine Uranus. It's like, okay, I got the message from above. I need to change. Okay? Nobody wants to change. Everyone wants to have what? Peace of mind, comfort zone, enough money in the bank, enough things and so on, and everything to be easy. You didn't came to this earth to be easy. Okay? You came here to fulfill something about yourself. Okay? And one of the hardest things is going to be embodying it your soul. And 10, you're going to be happy with whatever is going on. And soul gives you what? Solutions for where you're going to be going in life. Hi, 3 o'clock. The inner work is going to be at Taurus. Yes, very beautiful energy with Mercury and Jupiter, but you're also going to be finding that certain things you buried in your subconscious. You wanted to be something. You wanted to express something to the other people. You wanted to be feeling something in the society. But you took that, you put it in one chest, you lock it up, and you hide that chest into your own shadow, and you throw the key. And now you're wondering about it. Is like, why I'm not happy. Those are the things actually that makes you happy. Okay? But you always have a spare key, right? On your neck, in your heart. You know what you buried in there. You know how to open it. You know where you throw the key, right? And this is going to be some very interesting moments because the ascendant trining Chiron. Why the Chiron is a key? Right? Why is a Chiron as a key? He gets the energies from the above and brings it down into the circle, which is you. Right? It opens things. Right? It works very well when vertex is there. All right, 4 o'clock, sudden changes. Yes, very beautiful energy as the moon is approaching more and more, trining Uranus, and we're going to see some this 28-degree energies that is going to be very, very, very powerful, right? Certain things in the material world, it's ending because you're moving into the next stage of evolution. Okay, Uranus is evolution. Okay, he's ruling Aquarius, innovating. And this is what is going to happen, that right now Uranus is going to be asking, leave the material situations the way you want it to be. Whatever you project it, whatever you get it, whatever it is, it's a last minute, right? Because I want to teach you how to be friendly with other people. I want to teach you how I'm going to put you with your soul tribe. I'm going to be teaching you where you need to be. Okay? And you're going to see. You're going to see this energy. But of course, there is always going to be a shadow of a doubt. We've been talking about this 5 o'clock energies. They are Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces. And I'll be happy when all these Pisces energies are going off, because it has been a lot of psychological, emotional, spiritual, grinding it out energies. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm also fed up a little bit. But there is nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is keep what? Grinding it out. It's keep going into it. See through the duality, see through the triggers, and keep pushing forward, because the word, it's coming. You don't know, you don't believe, right? But the things are going to be coming towards us. Well, it's until April, okay? For those of you who doesn't have a patience, wait until April 16, in particularly. All right, 6 p.m., the ascendant is going to be with the moon, pretty much. That is going to be put that great divine energies to Chiron. We're going to see some very much healing things, because the inner work, it is sextiling Chiron. And this is the one thing you want to hold on to it. Okay? This is the one part of the healing. You may be going to be remembering certain things with intuition that tell you. You may be remembered at certain moments when the energy comes to you. You may be going to remember the words of your mother, because the moon represents all of this. Okay? But right now, with these energies, as the ascendant comes in and the inner work, it is T-squaring the moon and Mars. It is about what is your fight. What would you find your intuition? What would you find the spiritual warrior from within? Who is fighting at that, right? So here is to that duality, you are determining, are you ready or you're not ready? Did you assemble or you're not? You learn it, can you practice it, right? Because everything on the paper test is okay. The practical test, it's coming up. The question is how well you're going to handle it, not with others. How hell are you going to handle it with your own self first? Because the well you handle it within yourself is going to lead into what? How well you're going to handle it with others, right? This is the next step, right? Fix yourself, prove to yourself, and then you prove it to what? To others, right? All right, 7 o'clock. You're not going to be worried too much about others right now, okay? There is a lot of conflicts in the sense that ascendant, it's coming, it's telling you tomorrow you're going to have a conflict, right? What is the conflict that's tomorrow is going to be? Well, the moon is going to be moving into Libra overnight, and that is going to beginning to opposing Neptune, Saturn, the Sun. We're going to see some all this energies because this is going to be like authority. I don't like your intuition. I don't like your structure. I don't like these visions. And this is going to be me facing what? Relationship, because the moon is at where? Libra. Okay? And this is where it's coming, this reminder that is going to be start coming up right now. It's kind of like a prepare you for tomorrow. And remind you where was your ascendant and where was your descendant in your chart. Because if you pay attention, okay, when you start as a young, very young person, you start looking for who is going to be my partner in the games, who's going to be my partner at the daycare, who is going to be my partner later on that I can hang out with, who's going to be my partner for the very first time, who's going to be my husband, who's going to be, and so on and so on. And this is where it's coming from, okay? From that ascendant that is in between 12th and the first house and the 6th and the 7th house, okay? And we're going to start seeing it, this energy very, very much. All right, 8 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Cancer. That is going to be some trining Mars. It is about to tell you, this what you do is going to help you to grow and to give something to others. Build it in there, okay? Now with that energy ascendant that it's going to be at Libra is going to be squaring the inner work. You're not going to feeling kind of like very well because the sun at 11 degrees, it's squaring the dark sun and Jupiter right now. That energy is going to start increasing, as I said, in there. We're going to feel it in the next few days too. But as we are talking about that energy is going to be what? Bringing us to a cardinal changes. Okay, we're going to see some of those cardinal changes tomorrow at that time. This is going to be at 8 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow we're going to see somehow this energy is just going to be start coming like these buzzing feelings inside of it. You're going to be wondering, why is that? Okay, because this is when you prove the cardinal changes for better. Okay, that's what this is. And we are going to be talking about later on as this energy is going to be approaching more and more. We're going to see some that later on at 9 o'clock, all the energy is going to be mixed and match, and in a way is going to be like, okay, I have to put this. I have to, put my foot down and really thinking about it, organize myself, put the authority within me, start having these visions okay? Because these things does not really help. And who is helping here? Pluto. He's asking you, he brings all this mess, all this negative energies, all that stuff, just so we can evolve. And when we evolved, guess what? We're going to be happy, right? You're going to be looking back in there, in these times in there, and you're going to be like, man, that was rough times, right? But look what I turned myself into, right? I feel like I'm unstoppable. I feel like I can begin to create. I can begin to change because I changed myself. And you want to talk to somebody and you're going to give them the inspirations and they're going to change themselves. And then you're going to become buddies with them. And then more people is going to start coming. And then one by one, that inspirations is going to be passed on. And we have 2,000 years to do this. Okay? It's not going to happen just like that. All right, 10 o'clock, the inner work is going to be at Leo. That's divine energies with Mars. The moon is divine energies with Chiron, trining Uranus. Now we get into the energies from above. Things right now are moving into what? A better perspective. Ascendant at Scorpio, divine energies with Saturn and the Sun. And now the divine is telling you, where is your worries? Give it to me. I will resolve them for you. And guess what? You put your problems up in the sky and you get an answer how to fix it. And you're what? Thankful about it. Okay? You want to be thankful about it because you begin to do one important thing within yourself. You practice what you learn from within. Okay? For yourself. It's not because of others. You're doing this for yourself. Okay? So later on at 11 o'clock, we are going to see this energy as the moon was with the South Node yesterday. This divine energy from Pluto, the Sun, and Saturn. It's coming again. But this time the moon is where? 27 degrees of Virgo. Now she's looking into this Chiron. You finally healed one thing, the connection between your mind, soul, and spirit. Okay? And now Uranus is coming and is like, oh, I will give you the new information how to put this thing in perspective. Because now it's ready for you to practice this about yourself and prepare you to fix the next issues, right? All right, midnight energy is going to be some very interesting. I don't want to talk about that, but as the moon is going to be moving overnight, she's going to be moving into Libra, and she's going to be in divine energies with Venus. This is going to be the moment you understand the divine partnership from within yourself to yourself. Okay? But now you see the reason why, because you're going to practice that with others. And now with this, because the moon is going to be at 1 degree and Venus is going to be at 1 degree, this exactly is going to happen at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see some very, very interesting powers, okay? Because the moon, it's going to beginning to trine Uranus, Pluto, and 150 degrees with Venus. You're going to see the empowerment of the partnership coming towards the intuition, right? And that's when you learned how to be what? Supportive partner. Okay? Because you learn it how to support who? Yourself. What does it took you to build yourself, right? After you've been broken from system, from life, from parents, for emotional trauma, psychological trauma, and so on and so on. Now you put the pieces together. And you're proud of it. You should be proud of it that you put your things together within yourself. All right, and that was an astrogravitational report, and I'm going to give you at 7 o'clock in the morning, April 1st. Okay, April's full. Be careful what you're feeling with it. Don't be your own self. All right. So the moon is going to be at the first degree. At Libra is going to be at the sixth house, healing relationships. As Venus, it is going to be at the first house, and a Chiron is going to be at the ascendant. The inner work is going to be at Capricorn, still looking towards what? The North Node. How to do the things into the future. Okay, so with these energies, we are going to be opening that even energies that it's going to be together with better and better with Uranus, and also better with what? With Pluto. You're going to feel that energies within yourself. That transformations that we are going to is giving a fruit because you healed yourself, and you're going to practice that in a relationship. Okay? And that's the beauty of it, despite the challenges, right? Okay, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for the clicks, the likes, the shares, the subscribes. Hopefully, you learned something astrology today in there. And if you're using this, if you like it, and so on, come back tomorrow for another astrogravitational report. Much love to you guys.